Gilmer, and this is episode 2 of my Let's Play Wars of Napoleon. And the music sounds a lot like Pride of Nations music, which I have mentioned before that there are some similarities between this and Pride of Nations. If you have ever played that, you'll know what I mean. And if you have never played Pride of Nations, I won't tell you not to buy it. It didn't get great reviews from a lot of people, but it is an interesting exercise in taking the long term of running a nation state with its economy, its military, its diplomacy, etc. And it's pretty interesting. I think I've never actually played a full campaign on Pride of Nations because it's a 1920 turns long, but I have played about 10 to 15 years of both the United States and Prussia. And actually I think I played Prussia for 25 years or so because I did unify Germany, and that was pretty interesting as well. That's what I like a lot of these games, these nation games from the Victorian era. I really enjoy taking Germany or Prussia and unifying Germany, or taking even Italy and taking one of the Italian regions and unifying Italy. And I think that's very interesting to do, and I like to do it. But Pride of Nations, there's not a lot of conflict or war, kind of like, there is war, obviously, and you do get into wars, and some of them are actually generated by events and things like that. But there are a lot of turns that you're not at war in a lot of cases, because being at war is not good for your country, to be honest. Even if you're rolling people, sometimes it's not that good to be at war, because your economy suffers and your national morale suffers and things like that, unless you're winning battles constantly, and then of course your national morale probably goes up. But I know I'm digressing here. I just was mostly talking about some of the similarities between the two, and then I got off on a tangent of talking about Pride of Nations and some of its qualities, attributes, what have you. So I'm going to resume the game. We are playing Great Britain. I'm playing blind. I have absolutely no idea what to do, to be honest with you. I've never played Great Britain in any type of Victorian / 1800, circa 1800 type games. And I know that this isn't really the Victorian era. It's the country is ruled by George III, who was also the king during the American Revolution, and he actually is able, I don't know if it's anything great that he did, but under his reign they defeated Napoleon, which is pretty nice for them. It's something to definitely hang your hat on if you are a George III fan. So I do know that in later years he was considered to have gone mad by some. I don't know anything about that. I just I know there's a movie called The Madness of King George, and then I read it on Wikipedia that he might have been sick or something at the end of his life, which, hey, I wouldn't hold that against anybody. That happens to people these days. You get dementia, you get Alzheimer's, whatever, and you do start acting, very abnormally compared to what you used to act like. My parents went through that phase in a sense where my mom, who was a very loving, very bubbly type of person, in the last few years as she got sicker, she became a little bit more mean-spirited, and it was a lot harder to get her to enjoy herself, and that was because she understood that her health was poor, and it was depressing for her, and I quite understand that with many people, and that might have been the case with George III. He might have, known his health was failing, and he just got depressed. A lot of times depression, and it's obviously something that the psychiatrists say is a mental type disease now, is depression. So, I mean, I don't know any of the specifics, so somebody's probably going to correct me and say, well, he did this, 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 and this. Well, have at it. I don't mind. All you'll do is enlighten me and make me more knowledgeable. So I will accept that. So, what are my goals? My goals. I haven't. In Pride of Nations, they give you actual quests, or things to do to gain prestige, and like having the largest uh, you know navy, or having the largest amount of seagoing merchants, or having the biggest output or the biggest production of one of the certain economic things. But I don't see it happening here. Our points are 38, 32, which puts us squarely in second place, which is a little different than Pride of Nations, which starts, I think, basically in Victoria's reign. And of course, Great Britain starts out with a fairly large lead there. And that's part of the reason why I never played it, but because I don't really like playing from the front in these types of games. It's basically just keep doing what you're doing, only do it better. And I don't. I'm not good at that. And I'm not saying I'm an expert at not toppling people off of the number one spot, but I feel like I do better when I'm trying to catch up, because I do create more crazy things, more out of the norm type things. Now, see, we have a lot of units. They're basically across the channel from Napoleon's armies. Did we? Oh, we had our diplomats were en route, I believe, to wherever we sent them. So I think what we do now is, I don't know what we do now, to be honest with you. Let's enter the decision mode. Do we need to draft? 10 victory points. Loyalty, 5 development points. What are those? What are development points? I did not see development points. I don't know what development points are, to be quite honest with you. Requisitions, seize horses, -3 development points. So what does that mean? So let's just play one and just see, because this is a let's play, and it is to see what happens if we play some of these. So let's put a spy on Napoleon, just to see what he's up to. Land sailors. 1 sailor regiment landed on enemy shore. At least 2 warships must be present. Sailors cannot land on cities level 3 and higher. I don't. Let's see what we can do. These are, looks like something we can send supplies to a country that is our ally if they need help. None of these, I think, are actually our ally yet. Keep Wellesley in India. I think it tells me that he's locked there for 2 years. He'll be coming back when we get a chance. Better coordination. This option gives you the use of a national modifier, better coordination at the expense of some EP. Those are pretty high to 50 points. That pretty much wipes out almost all of my EPs. And I'm really trying to get to this one, which cost me 1,000 EPs. That is something I really am shooting for. And we're getting 14 per turn. So 12 times 14 is how much? 28, 120, wait a minute. 14 times 12. 140 plus 28 is 168. So, even without doing anything, it's going to take about 5 years. And plus, I think it even says the year has to be 1808. So you could do it in 3 years if you maybe won a lot of battles. We are at war with Napoleon. I'm wondering. All of these units are locked, though. Where's Duke of York? See, he's locked, and he's got a decent strength, but it's not anywhere near probably what Napoleon is. I'm looking at these little icons right at the top, these little circles. Huh. I guess it tells you or maybe it's a flag and a little, okay, it is a flag with a little pennant or whatever. I don't know what they call those other than pennants, but pretty neat. Look at this guy, Intel Service. What's he doing? Oh, he's a part of the Signal Corps, I guess. Yeah. Signal Corps helps your command points. It adds 1 command point to your stack, which means your army will fight with better organization. Look at all these guys with the funny hats on. That's one thing they did. They wore some funny hats back during the 1800s on ships and on land. You see some of those hats. I mean, look at that hat. Sir George Cook. Look at that big old hat. That's pretty funny looking. I'm not laughing at him, obviously. It's just and the Americans wore goofy hats back in those days as well. The hat that Lincoln wore was just, if anybody walked around wearing a hat like that today, they'd be ridiculed so badly they'd probably go to their house and lock themselves in. Of course, nobody wears hats anymore except during really cold weather. Well, baseball hats, yeah, but... So honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, I do know Kingston. I don't know how to get this guy out. We do have a fleet. Its transport capacity is 17. Its weight is 19. Well, how do you like that? Jamaica Force. Kingston Force. How strong is the Jamaica Force? Well, it's locked. It's because of this unit, though. If we take that unit out, now see if it's locked. It is not locked. And what's his power? Why don't we know his power? Its weight is 28, so it's not going to fit on that either. What kind of leader? This guy's a 312, and this guy is a 312. So they're basically the same. What's going on in West Africa? Are we? No. Cordial relationships. I wonder if there's any colonialism in this game. I guess not. John Francis Craddock. Whitelock. Jakarta. There's Wellesley right there. Young looking guy then. I think he lasted into his 80s or so and became the prime minister at one point. He lasted until like the 1880s or 1890s. I know that. What about this guy? See, I don't really know where all my forces are either. And I know I should have probably familiarized myself with them a little bit better. But, so we have ships pretty much everywhere. And this is a pretty strong force. Horatio Nelson is pretty strong. So anybody that comes barreling through here is going to have to take it up with Lord Nelson. So, well, what do you think? F4 ciphers and codes. What is this? See, I don't know what it does. What does ciphers and codes do? Gives you better information on them, or you break their secret codes or something. I don't know. Well, let's go back. Production. Should we build something? Do we have 8,000 in money. Military recruitment mode. First rank squadron. You can bet those are some good ships. 98 ship guns, ship of the line. That's pretty good. How long does it take to build one of those? Cost 878 pounds. Conscripts 460. That pretty much kills all my conscripts. And it takes 396 days, which is about a year and a month. Let's see. What kind of infantry unit? Highlanders Brigade. Oh, yeah. Kick ass. KGL. Fusiliers. Marine Brigade. Royal Marines. They get amphibious, which means that they get a 0% of the penalty associated with naval land and 50% for opposed river crossing. So that's a good unit to have. Rifles Brigade. See, these units are a lot like the Pride of Nations units, I think. You get a lot of mixed brigades. Alright. I do want to build something, though. This looks like the strongest unit we could build. So let's build it. Look what it did to our conscripts. Oh well. Let's save the game. And process the turn. So how's it going out there, everyone? I'm sorry I haven't recorded since, I guess Saturday. Man, work's been rough. It's just been a rough few days, to be honest. My health hasn't been the greatest. I'm usually very, very, very healthy. I'm almost literally never sick, and my body seems like it's going away from me for some reason, but I feel good. It's just some of my extremities hurt, my knees, and very tired a lot lately. Mostly because I don't sleep well at times. Under a little bit of stress at work and a little bit of stress everywhere, to be honest with you. I only slept about 4 hours last night, so I'm a little tired. A little bit rambling a little bit. I can say that I come from a long line of people who have had very strong hearts, so I don't have to worry about that going wrong. But yeah, there's always something going on in there. I'm still really young too. That's what's crazy. I don't know what it's doing. I guess it's running through all the nations until it gets to ours. I don't know if ours runs last. I don't really think they're going to try to cross in the teeth of these two British formations, naval formations. That would be silly. And actually, it looks like, oh, there he is. I was about to say, actually, it looks like Napoleon has taken off, but he is still there. I will say that I spent most of Saturday after I did my first Let's Play of Napoleon's Wars. I think it was Saturday. I watched my team, my football team, win the championship, American football, win the championship of its league, and now it's in the national playoffs for the national championship, which is pretty nice. Russia refused our proposal on the basis that they believe our imperialistic stance will be a menace to the global balance of power. Come on now. A new national government modifier option is available. Let's see what that is. Military regions. This option will give you the use of the national modifier military regions at the cost of some EP. Now, I don't know what it does, though. What does it do? Does it mean that if you designate a region, a military region, you get some kind of bonuses? That's probably what it is, but I can't say for certain that that's what it is. There was a little bit of a battle down here. Okay, Gibraltar has bombarded the Juno squadron, landing 14 hits and suffering 0 hits from return fire. Well, you know what I am going to do? Aren't we at war with Spain? Wait a minute, let's open up the diplomacy screen. We are at war with France. We are at war with Berg. We're at Peterburg. I don't know. We're at war with Kingdom Italy, Switzerland, Haiti, the Netherlands, and Spain. So we are at war with Spain. So, and these are Spanish ships. And see how I did. If I drop it on that, it says you are targeting that squadron. So I should get into a battle with them. What am I doing here? No. Okay. was just checking to see what my special uh, options what was chosen or not chosen, and nothing is chosen, which is what the way I wanted it. There's this guy in Calder, or his name is Robert Calder. I'm sorry. He's in the Cape Finisterre. Let's just move him down here. And if these guys run, we can swoop in and attack them from the northwest. Anything else going? Boulogne observers has arrived in Strait of Dover at day 1. What is that? The home fleet. See, they've left, it seems. Okay. 45. In the war against the Haitians, war score has increased by 1. It stands now at 2. Hanover is now an ally of Austria. Okay. So Austria has joined us. Austria is now an ally of Prussia. No, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Prussia is part of our alliance as well, which means they're going to go out of their way to be good friends with Saxony and Hanover. Sir Arthur Wellesley has been promoted to the rank of general. Sir John Moore has been promoted to the rank of marshal. Develop territory decision, draft decision, develop territory. Spain is seizing horses. Okay, so we have a coalition. There ought to be this is what they ought to do. And I don't know if the developers are going to watch this video or not. I hope they do, because I love their games, and I've always had great customer service from the two Philippes, and they've got other people over on the Matrix side, a guy named Paulo who's awesome as well, and Eric Rutens is real great as well, and just a whole bunch of very classy, very nice people. If you ever have to deal with them, they will bend over backwards to make your experience with them enjoyable. So if you are going to buy any of their games, buy it straight from them, because if you're a big Steam fan, I understand. If you like Steam, you can buy straight from the Aegod people or the Matrix people, and they will give you an extra code for Steam. So it's almost like having two games. And I accidentally just spilled my drink, but I'm just going to keep on going. It's not on anything but me. But I got kind of a little excited while I was talking about the games. But I really do enjoy the games, and as I was saying, if you buy direct from them, they will actually give you a Steam code as well. I bought War in the West from them, and I got a Steam code, so that was 2. I have 2 versions on my computer now. Rise of Prussia, same thing. No, actually, Rise of Prussia, I think I didn't buy from them. I was real early in my experience with Aegod and their companies, and I ended up buying it, I think, on sale from Gamers Gate or somebody, and I didn't get it from them. But I've gotten just about every other game from them: Civil War II, Civil War, and To End All Wars, and they gave me a Steam code for every one of those. So, not this first Civil War, but Civil War II, To End All Wars, Revolution Under Siege, and And there are plenty of other games that I haven't actually redeemed my Steam code, is what how they call it. I have still several titles that I could get a Steam code for, and I just haven't done it because they're more Matrix games that I just don't play as much. Like, well, actually, I did activate decisive campaigns, Warsaw, Cold Blue, or whatever. I can't remember the exact names, but the decisive campaign series. I activated some of those games on Steam as well. So, like I'm saying, if you have a choice, or if you're in the early stages of deciding whether you want to buy one of these games or not, go directly to them. The ageod forums, all you have to do is just do a search, do a Google search on ageod forums. You'll pull up ageod forums, and they have a link that'll go directly to their store, and you can buy directly from them. I've never had any trouble. I'm in the USA, they're in France, but my credit card has always worked. And, you know, and oh, I was just going to say, I've had problems where, and everybody has this, I think, unless you're really anal retentive, which I'm not completely anal retentive, even though I am somewhat. If you lose your download, the downloaded file, the setup file, or what have you, they will work with you if you bought it directly from them. Gamersgate and those places, they might do it too. I don't know. I've never had really issues with them. Um, I'm just saying that I have had issues where I have lost the setup file for, Alea Jack Est game. I lost it. And Paulo on the Matrix side actually gave me a new serial code, and it's because he knew my email address, knew I had bought it, and I think they were changing over the way they registered games on their forums, and so he just gave me new serial code for Alea Jacta Est and the Spartacus campaigns for Alea Jacta Est, which was the bonus scenario if you pre-ordered. So you get really great customer service from them, and that's why I've always been very quick to buy some of their new titles. Because you just can't beat the kind of service they get. Now, if you try to contact them on the weekend, it's not a lot of people that work at their company, so you might have a little trouble over the weekend. But once Monday hits, they will contact you very quickly, and will help you out. They recognize me and my email address. I've been using the same email address for about 10 years now, and they recognize that and recognize me as a long-standing customer, and they help me out all the time. Now, what is this? Now, can I move there? Can I move allied units, or do I just get to see it? I can't move Braunschweig. They're not allied to me. So I don't know if it's traditionally what had happened, but I do know that there has been some talk about when Prussia, and it might have been in the Prussia games that I started, but there was talk about Prussia when they joined the coalition. Napoleon decided to forego trying to cross the channel into England and turned his attentions to the Austrian / Prussian / Russians. So I don't see him anymore, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not there. Let's move to here, and maybe we'll see him in this region. We'll move to Pas-de-Calais, which, as many of you probably know, Pas-de-Calais is where the Nazis thought the Allies would open up the second front in World War II, when actually they went to Normandy, which is down here. It's very, the maps really not on a scale to see any of the big Normandy stuff, but that's I'm pretty sure it's right in here. Wait a minute, no, here we go. What am I doing? Duh, here's Normandy. There's Caen. Cherbourg. Uh, During World War II, the Americans hit in here, the British here and here, or here, and the Canadians were right in the middle of the British. And the British and the Canadians, I think, were tasked to take Caen, and the Americans were tasked to take Carentan and some of the places over here, St. Foy, St. Marc-Lise, all well-known names to anybody who is a World War II historian or even a novice historian, which is what I am basically. Although I did take enough history, almost, I think maybe I lacked one class to be a history minor, but they didn't allow business majors to take a minor. Well, they didn't allow accountants to take a business minor in the school I went to. I guess they figured that you had enough to learn about in accounting that they didn't care that you would spend your time in anything else. But I took so many different classes over the years that I ended up having enough hours that I probably could have gotten a minor for history if I really wanted to. But I like just being a novice historian. It's still just as fun, still just as interesting to learn about history. There's Paris. We're coming for you, Napoleon. Nappy. Was that really his nickname, or is that just what people called him later on? Anyway, I know I've talked a lot during this, but I don't really know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I mean, usually you have forces, they unlock, you move them towards the enemy, and then they fight. I mean, almost immediately. Whereas these guys are still locked. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to unlock them, if anything, or do they just unlock on their own? And, I tell you what I am going to do. I am going to... He's at 18. What does this say? 17. Weight of 3. Weight of 4. So we're going to we'll take him out as well. So that makes him light enough to put on the Jamaica squadron. Now let's just... And then we're going to do a distant unload. Oh, I do want to do some more diplomacy because... Oh, wait a minute. That's not diplomacy. What did I click? Whoops. Almost knocked my drink over again. So, Russia's still treaty to reply, none. Treaty available. Most of these are not very good. Not very easy to do. He's not going to give us foreign access. He's not going to give us a passage right. He's not going to give us a supply right. And they've already rejected proposed state visit. We've got to get Russia. I wonder if it's by event that they get on our side. But, oh, wait a minute. Did I just run a turn? No. No, okay. Whew. I was about to say, what happened with my naval forces, but it's down here. So, at some point, Russia has to become better or more willing. I don't know if they actually joined the coalition, though. But I do know that they fought France because that's when Napoleon really was just... most of his army was destroyed when they attacked into Russia. So he has to attack Russia at some point, or something has to happen. Excuse me. That's the diplomacy screen. That's build screen. My conscripts are still down at 73. Oh no, they just went down to 73. All right, well, I'm going to process another turn, and then I'll call this episode to a close. But we'll leave it right here to see if we can't see a little bit of battles here. So let's go. I got a lot of money, 8,746. I think when Napoleon's defeated is when Great Britain really, I mean, they were already a superpower pretty much in the 1700s, but I think after Napoleon's defeated, that's when Great Britain goes on such a tear and really almost owns the whole world, basically. Except, a couple of places like the United States. And I think World War One is when they really started losing their power. I don't know if it was from the loss of men or what happened, but after World War One, they were severely reduced throughout the world. It seemed. They still obviously held a lot of land and a lot of colonies and things like that, but I think it was their empire was crumbling at that point to some extent. And by the time World War II hit, they had been so severely weakened that they couldn't keep up with the Germans and not the Nazis. They were damn strong though in the Battle of Britain though. They held out. Here we go. I hope we sink those ships. And of course they didn't even fight. Are they moving off? Let's just look through the messages before we call the episode to a close. The Royal Navy has forcibly impressed some American sailors on the high seas. That's basically what was the cause of the War of 1812. So as you can see, their relationship with the USA is not getting better. We failed to engage them. And they retreated from us. Those sissies. How did my guy get way out? How did he get way out there? Oh, I guess he chased him. I mean, 19% chance to actually come to battle. It's not that bad. After 5 times, you should get a battle if you have a 19% chance. The Jamaica Squadron, 3 days, and he will be there. And then we can see if we can't rout out the Haitian force. It seems like something we're able to do. Our war score has increased to 3. Acting on free will, Saxony is... Russia has been the subject of give supply right from Prussia. I wonder if that's what I can do. I wonder if that's what one of those was. Russia is seizing horses. All right. doesn't really look like too much is going on, but I'm going to close this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Good night.